Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how I clean up the taillight, shoot photos for it. This is also the time when I would test it, if I knew how to test that. And also I want to clear up a couple things. The last video I realized I said a little bit wrong. I actually looked all the pricing up before I bought it. I always recommend doing that unless, like I did mention the TI-84 calculator. There is always a risk in that it may not work, but you still want to test it out. But those sell really well, and for $1 they're really good. But there's always a possibility it may not, you lose $1. So same thing with this. I could have bought for $4 because I know it's probably worth more than that, but I wanted to be for sure. And actually that day when I looked it up, the very first thing that popped up when I finally found it was a set of used ones that sold. It was, I don't remember if it was $200 or $400. I thought I had hit the jackpot. I thought this was gonna be like $200. So then once I realized what it actually was, I looked it up, then I saw what I showed you where, you know, they might be $50, $75, $100, somewhere around there. Also, because this one is just so scuffed up, the more I'm thinking about it, the less likely I think it will actually go for like 100 shipped. It's probably going to be like 70, like maybe 70, 80, 85 shipped, somewhere around there, maybe 65, 70 plus shipping, somewhere in there is about, it's probably where it's going to fall. But for $4, it's still a good flip. Okay, so anyway, the way to clean this one up is really simple. It has one sticker. You saw how easy it came off in the last video, but let's say for whatever reason it was stuck on there really good. One thing I learned about was something called Scotty peelers, S-C-O-T-T-Y, just like the name, Scotty peelers, like you peel a banana. All right, so I bought a set. I don't remember if they were, if it was from eBay or Amazon, but it was 3 plastic Scotty peelers and 1 metal one. I have never used this one. It just seems like it would scratch and gouge, so I never use it. I use these all the time. I don't know if you can quite tell, but the edges are starting to get a little rough on them, so I might want to replace them. Okay, also, you could use one of these scraper blades, and what's cool is I've seen at the store that they sell the razor blades, but in plastic version that's not going to scratch. And I've seen some people say that that works even better, especially for like price tags. Not a little tag like this, but like a big price tag on maybe something you bought at Walmart, you're trying to flip, whatever. It's easier to scrape it with a big flat plastic blade than one of these little round ones. But anyway, for this video, I'll show you the Scotty peeler. Basically, you just get underneath it and then peel it away. All right, now sometimes if there's residue left behind, you can kind of scrape it a little bit with this, wipe it off. And then more than likely, there's probably gonna be some residue or the thing is gonna be dirty and dusty, whatever. My favorite thing to use to clean is rubbing alcohol. Okay, now I actually use 2 different versions. I use a 70% and I also sometimes use a 91%. I've found 70% to be safe on most things, but there has been times when the 91 was too much and it actually like rubbed off printed on graphics or screen printed graphics and things like that. So you want to be real careful. On this one, 91 is probably okay. I'll just use 70 because it's here. I also just use old rags, things like that I have laying around. And it's just as simple as wiping it down. I mean, that's it. Now, the alcohol works really well if there happens to be sticker residue, things like that. With these scuffs and scrapes, when it's wet, it looks good, but as soon as it dries, they show up again. So just wipe the whole thing down. And then this thing was really clean, but sometimes you go to a garage sale or even at thrift stores and things are a little bit scuzzy looking. So you want to really get in all the nooks and crannies the best you can. Sometimes I'll even use old toothbrushes and just really get in there with a little bit of rubbing alcohol on them. Just really get in there, wipe the excess off with the rag, and that's it. Now I've already cleaned this, so I didn't have to show you the whole thing on video, but pretty simple. You just want it to look really clean, the best you can, so it looks the best for pictures and all that. But like I said, it's still scuffed up. None of that went away. Maybe there's a way to polish and buff it out, but I'm not spending that kind of time on it. I'll just, you know, sell it for 15 bucks less or whatever and just be done with it. Okay, so now we got it nice and clean. Also, I guess while I'm thinking of it, another thing you can do with Scotty peelers that works really well is taking off, now I'm kind of jumping ahead here a little bit, but sometimes if you get old boxes that have old price tags on there, it'll work well to peel them off as well. Okay, so see, you can kind of dig under that corner and then start peeling it away. But see how it's kind of ripping? I found a good way to boost that is to use a hair dryer. All right, so just kind of set this thing down, plug your hair dryer, keep blowing on it, and then use your Scotty peeler under a corner. Let me try, there we go. So you'd be blowing on there, get your Scotty peeler under there, it'll peel right up. Now when you use a hair dryer, it like loosens the glue, so there's gonna be glue residue, so it'll feel sticky. So on a cardboard box, that's kind of where I'd put my new label when I ship it out. But on something that I'm flipping, let's say I had the price tag on there, if it has that sticky residue, that's where the alcohol comes in place. But anyway, this sticker come off real easy, didn't leave anything behind. So I got it nice and clean. So now this thing is as good as I can make it look. So let me go take some pictures of it. I'll show you my photo setup. I keep it really basic, and it's worked so far. I've done it for over a year with eBay, and I've never had any issues with photos, and some of them are not that great. So let me show that to you next. So I've probably mentioned it in videos before, but my buying and listing process is really inefficient, but I'm just working with what I have now. So my cleaning, testing, / shipping table is downstairs. That's also where my computer is whenever I print labels. But when I shoot videos of things when I buy them, and when I take photos before I list them, I come upstairs to my workroom. So that's the corner where I do all my videos. All right, I got junk everywhere. And that's where I store all my stuff, okay? So things on the shelf with the colored tags on there are things that have already been listed and are waiting to get sold. Whenever I sell them, I grab the box, I set it over here, shoot video, take them out of the box, which is inefficient as well, but I want to show you what I have because it's easier than editing in photos later. Put them back in the box, then I take them back downstairs to that table, tape them up, make sure that the measurements and the weight are correct, print labels, send them out. So I have a really inefficient system. If it could all be done in one room, it'd be better, but it's just not the way I have it set up here. So my totes and all that that's where I had clothing and some electronics. Whenever that sells out, I'll probably get rid of them because I don't use them. But for the most part, things that are sold go over here. This is, all this stuff from about here over is waiting for photographs. Basically, it's model kits, which you haven't seen yet, but I've been selling over the winter, and then some of the things there are getting ready to sell. But this is also where I take my photos, okay? Now it's just against the closet in this room, and this is an unused bedroom, and I just have a really basic setup, but it should be, I should have something better than this, but it's what I've been using for a year. So it's on the floor, so of course when I take photos, I'm like down on the ground, and this thing's starting to get kind of scuzzy. You can see how it's starting to turn black and gray in spots. But it's a really simple setup. When I replace it, I will use the same thing again. So all I did is I took a 1x4, I think this was, okay? And I didn't have to paint, it was something that's already painted. It's actually leftover trim from our house. And basically I just put an I hook in there, see that? And then an S hook, and then I put an I hook in the trim on both sides of the closet, and then hung the board in there, okay? Then I bought, basically it's a pull down blind that is, I think it's 5 feet wide by 6 feet long. Okay, if I remember right, I think it's 60 by 72. I also had to buy these little brackets. I think this this blind was, I think $17 or $18 at Menards, but basically, you know, less than 20 bucks at a hardware store. These little brackets were, I think, maybe $1. The board was free, but if you had to buy one, it's, I don't know, less than $5, probably $2 or something like that. And then, of course, the S hooks and all this kind of stuff. So I would say you could do this for like less than 30 bucks. And I think it would be better if it was up higher on a table, so I didn't have to like bend over for photos and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm using what I have, okay? Also, I've been using it so long that I actually broke the spring in there. Normally when I'm done, you just pull on it and it rolls back up, and it's just in a nice tidy little, you know, little thing about this size, and I can take it off and put it away and use the closet. But anyway, now that it's broke, I just leave it out here until I need inside the closet. So I don't remember how high I have it. It's probably 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, something like that. And then I have about 2.5, maybe, yeah, probably about 30 inches or so on the ground. I mostly did this way, so if I had taller things, I'd still have background. And actually, occasionally, I sometimes even just take photos like that, where it's the floor and just the blank closets behind it, especially if I'm selling something locally on Facebook Marketplace. because I found that I don't want the nicest looking photos for local sales, because I don't want to look like just a straight up total reseller. This one looked like I'm trying to get rid of a few things in the house, so I just, you know, set things on the ground. Okay, so anyway, here's kind of what I do each process. I straighten it out so it has as few wrinkles as possible. Now also, like I said, mine's starting to get kind of scuzzy with black gunk on there. I've tried cleaning it off. It doesn't really come off, but it's broken anyway, so I'll replace it. Okay, now one thing immediately you notice is the lighting in the room can be good, but not at this time of day. It is 5:30 in the evening. That clock works. My backwards clock has been broken for years. I've seen people mention that in the videos. But anyway, the lighting is not good right now. It wouldn't even be good for if I was standing right here shooting my video. See how dark it is? It's just no good. So first thing I'll try is turning on the light. Wow, terrible. Look how orange it is. That is no good at all. Okay, so what I did, I kind of cheaped out, but I just got on eBay and I bought these LED lights. I actually have 2 of them. Okay, and they are both on tripods I got at a garage sale. I think I paid $1 for that one and maybe a couple of dollars for this one. And then I bought hardware to mount them off of eBay. It's really cheap stuff that's no good. They wobble, but it works. So anyway, turn them on. They had a setting. I can actually make them like cooler, so they're more blue, or warmer where they're more orange. I can make them brighter or darker. I think each light was about 30 bucks, something like that. So I'll turn them both on. And I have them aimed here, and now we have pretty good lighting, okay? Especially when I set it on there. Let's wipe this thing down really well. Okay. So there we go. Now check that out. It's a pretty blank background. It's not too bad. You know, not totally professional, but not just, you know, something laying on the ground on a, you know, old dirty carpet or whatever. And another thing kind of cool about this type of backdrop is that it's almost like infinity. You sometimes can't really tell where the floor starts and where the wall starts, you know? So it's just blank. So that's what I like using, okay? So now, as far as the camera, it's actually the exact same camera I'm using to shoot my videos, except this is one that broke a while back and the mic doesn't work. But the photos are good. I don't know if you've ever noticed in the videos, but somewhere right around here, this lens has something blurry on it. I just haven't replaced it yet because it still works well. But anyway, it's the same camera, some type of Sony. I don't use my phone to take pictures. Some people do. I just don't like clogging it up. I don't like, the camera isn't that good on it. I don't know. I just prefer to use a regular little point and shoot camera that actually takes pretty good photos. I don't remember what megapixels it takes or any of that kind of stuff, but I've had, there we go, 18.2 megapixels. Nowadays that's probably slightly on the low side, but anyway, I just use it. On eBay you can take 12 pictures. Locally with Facebook Marketplace, if you take pictures of items you can do 10. And Craigslist, I think you can go up to 24. So I would not list this locally because I don't think it would sell. So this one's going to go on eBay. But if it was an item I was going to put locally, I would take 10 photos. I would use them for both Facebook and Craigslist, even though I could put more on Craigslist if I wanted. But since this is going on eBay, I will take all 12 photos, okay? I'm not just going to take 2 or 3. Sometimes end up only taking maybe 8 photos, 7, 10, something like that. But for this one, because I want to try to show the scuffs and all that kind of stuff, just as many details as possible, I will take 12 photos. So anyway, I mean, it's just real simple. I'll just point and shoot. Just kind of frame it. You know, I don't want to be too close. You can kind of see in the camera, well, kind of like this. You don't really want that. I like to frame it the best I can. There we go, first photo. And then I'll just do all kinds of sides. I will just take a photo of the back. I'll take a photo of it like this, flip it around. I will take a close-up of all the writing that was on there. I will take a close-up of the scuffs. If I mean, it's really hard to show on camera. In person, you can see them. Any scratches, you can see them there. I will just take as many up-close photos as I can until I'm done with 12, and then I can put them on the computer and get it listed. So anyway, that's how I do my photos and cleaning. I mean, I keep it real simple. Super basic. I've been doing it for over a year. I did really well. My first year of flipping was something as simple as this and a plain Jane point and shoot camera. Nothing too fancy at all. So anyway, let me go ahead. I'll take these photos and then I will show you how I get it prepped for packing and listing.